Our youth practice is obviously a little bit different, but there's certain drills that helped me after I left Michigan State when I went on training out at Oregon State with those guys. Like positioning, hand fighting, that stuff took me to a different level of wrestling. I wasn't that kind of wrestler. For you guys that know me and my brother, that's more my brother's style. That in your face, hand fighting, positioning, not letting guys in on your legs, doing that funk roll around BS. I don't teach any of it. I think it's terrible wrestling. It's not good for our sport. I mean, you got to know how to do it. You got to know how to defend it. I got 3 of my kids right here that are in my club. They can attest to it. I don't teach it. We teach basics. I teach basics in my club. Sprawl, head blocking, keeping your head down, keeping your legs back. Funk rolling and all that stuff, it's all secondary. It's all secondary. That's your last resort, no matter what. And that's where freestyle and Greco come in when we're talking to our kids and stuff. Keep pushing that on them. I know some kids aren't comfortable with it. Get comfortable with it. Tell them, wrestling's wrestling. I score, I get the takedown, it's still 2-0. I don't have to know how to turn him. But as long as I'm the takedown king, it don't matter. It teaches you better wrestling, better fundamentals. Freestyle and Greco did. You can't expose your back. You know, for kids coming up through, the kids that want to go to the next level, it helps. And it truly will help because their college coach is going to have them wrestling in freestyle tournaments anyway. Get used to it now. Learn how to do it now. I'm going to push all my kids in our club to do it too. Because it makes you better, well-rounded wrestler. Okay? Some are going to fight you on it or whatever. Let them do it, but teach them, man. So, a couple of drills that I do with our guys, all right? After we're done warming up and stuff like that. First, I want my kids head blocking. Whenever I'm warming up and whenever I'm drilling, I always head block. Okay? First line of defense. It's our head. But if my head's beat, then it's our hands, then our hips, and then it's the jump rolling around. Alright? That's how we teach it, and that's how we're doing it, alright? So, we'll just do it from inside tie first, right? So, if we're in here, and he goes to penetrate, so I get an inside tie. Where he goes to penetrate, my head is going to follow him at all times. I can feel when he changes levels. I can feel when he changes levels. If my head's tight, if I'm holding him tight in here. Just hold on a second. So if I'm in here, right, he goes to penetrate, starts to go slow. I start to side block. He can't go through my head. Even if I'm not scoring. I can go down to my knees, sprawling and, just in the wrestling aspect of it all. If I hit my knees, that's fine. At least he doesn't beat my head. If he beats my head, then my hands are down there, buddy. Biggest key right here. You'll down block a bunch, just wrestling with this guy penetrate, go ahead, hit right here. It won't matter. My head's still in position. You'll feel him change levels. And if you do it a few times to get used to it, incorporate it in your drills, it changed. This is one of the big things that changed me when I left and started training to the next level. With Steiners and Zaleski and Kevin Roberts out there, they had me doing this all the time. Because I let people into my legs all the time because of how I wrestle with all my junk. Right? So, but it takes wonders, So he's actually going to start penetrating a little bit, right? And I start hitting the corners. Now we can start looking for drags and dropping off. All of our other attacks will be there, off of his shot. If we get tired, fatigued a little bit, same thing. As long as I'm squeezing in here, and instead of just posting on him, waiting for his reaction, if I'm grabbing a hold of him, we're squeezing in here. Now he's got to shoot through my head if I need my win. Don't matter. So we're in here. We push him. We'll keep our head in there. Keep our head in there. Okay? Once again, he starts to penetrate, I start looking to drag right off of it. Running the angle down. But my head has to stay in this pocket the whole time. So just go down right here. My head stays right in here the whole time. Now our kids, when we start drilling this, obviously, because we already stopped, no, stay down. We've already stopped them. As we start dragging, they want to pull their head up here, right? But now what's it do for him? It opens up my leg for him to repenetrate. Keep our head, keep my head in this pocket the whole time. That way if he does recover, my head's still in the way. Start circling up. Right there, my head's in the way now. My head has to stay in this pocket at all times. Tell them, be like, hey, we might hit heads, we might not. Don't matter. Like, we're wrestlers anyway. You guys aren't that pretty, so don't worry about it. Just hit heads. Let him hit your face. But my head hits here, right here. Top of my head hits right here on this, right here on his traction here. I want to hit it every time, okay? But if we're in close, my head's in position anyways. I don't stand ear to ear. Right here, we're both kind of 50-50. When I start to tie up, if we're here, I turn my head. Now it's uncomfortable for him. Now I have the head position, even though we're kind of ear to ear. Ear to ear, obviously we don't teach, and a lot of us don't teach it or whatever, but right here we both have control. If I just turn my head slight, now I'm in a lot better position than I am from here, even though my head's still here. Now I can really feel him change directions when he changes his level. He starts right, coming around. Start circling up, we drop off into our single legs or in high crotch, into your shot set. Start working out of there. Okay. Same thing as from what we're open. So we're open, right? Just penetrate some. My head hits right here, and I stop him. He starts hitting the angles, hitting the corners. Okay? My head always hits. Always hits. And let them know it's not going to happen all the time. Shit, it might not even happen 60% of the time. But at least they know, and at least they're changing levels to where if he does beat me, now my hands and my hips are what's stopping him. Make sure we're getting back. Get back. He beat my head, we're getting back, sprawling back. Working to our front heads, then score. Please just don't teach them go over top all the time. That's last resort for me, personally. I don't like teaching it. I don't think it's good wrestling. It's not good for the kids that have Olympic aspirations. Whatever. It's good for last resort. Teach them to get their legs back, score in front headlocks. Then you know your kid's going to be in the more dominant position than, hey, I might blow his knee out, he might blow mine out. That type of thing. Your knees are going to be a lot safer. So, like I said, we're getting open shots. I'm in my stance. I have him shoot. Head down. Start hitting my angle. If he starts circling up, then we start dropping off. And then we finish. Okay? I have my kids do it pretty much every day. And as I saw them wrestle at Grappler Fall Classic and what's going on this weekend, it makes it easier to see where we have to adjust and what we have to do a little bit more. But I haven't drilled it every day. I do it every day when I'm drilling still. I just tell them, hey, shoot, I'm going to down block. Or I call it to drill with the kids. Like, all right, it's time to down block. And I do it for 3 or 4 minutes a piece, just going back and forth. But it's a must. So, do it. That's one drill we do when we start warming up. Another for helping our kids keeping their hips in on their shots. All right, to help keep their hips in, because when we get in here, don't matter what shot it is, kids like to go like this right away. It's easier. It's easier to bring your ass straight up like that. Right in here, right here. Same with our single leg, right here with our head down. That's what I do with our guys. Fingertips, stay right there. Straight arm, just high crotch side, right? It's high crotch side, straight arm. Penetrate your knee, slide your knee in between. Slide my knee from here to here. Repenetrate here. Now I can come up, finish. So we can keep our hips in, okay? So like I said, we get here. It's hard to fight here. This guy's got a lot of weight sprawling. But now my hips are in. Now it's a different ballgame. Okay? Fingertips, arm's length. Right here. Pull it in. Then we go up and finish. Okay? We do that. Same thing with our double legs. Squaring up. Right here. Pull it in. Hips are in. Now we step up and across. Tell your kids, hit them with your shoulder. Because they're not going to want to pull in hard. They're just going to kind of pull in like this. Like hit him. Let him feel your shoulder. Hit him with your shoulder so that you're doing it right and he gets to feel it. Right? So when I'm pulling myself in. Move him. Now, single legs, I kind of do it a little different. Kind of do it as a kind of a cut single. or a knee pull, or you guys would call that, same thing in here. Back to the knee, fingertips behind the knee, just pulling around. Here, pull my hips, now up and in. Now up and in. Okay. So all the drills are just fingertips in, just making sure they pull their hips in. So they slide their knee in between, their hips have to go in. Your hips have to go in if you're pulling your knee forward. The only time my hips won't go in is if my knee's back. Now my butt comes up, my head goes down. Okay? Right here, cut single, pulling. Okay? Pushing straight up with your head. Corner, drive straight up across. Then finish it. Okay? So I have my kids do this all the time. Helps with their basic skills, helps them, a lot of skill, a lot of beginners into. Helps with beginners, teaching them how to do stuff right. Do it right. Makes wrestling a lot easier. Sometimes doing the right thing's harder, but it makes life on the mat a lot easier. That's for sure. Okay? Those are two drills that I always have my kids do. And then when calling stuff out at the start of practice, let them warm up, they're drilling. Like I said, I'll start calling out down blocks. Right, it's time to down block. They should know what that means. It's not a sprawl. Sprawling's getting our hips down to the mat, circling up or whatever, right? Down block, even if it's stance and motion stuff in here. Right, down block, it's here, head down. Now whistle, head down, circling up. Head down. We're sprawling, then you're sprawling. But I want them to get used to getting their head down too. Hip, head to head if they have to. Okay? Then I call these out. Then as we're doing that, then right after that, I make them switch sides too. I'm like, all right, now, only right leg's attack. The only attack is right leg. And I make them do that for about 5 or 6 minutes. So they get used to being on both sides of the leg. Then I'll call up the left leg. Because they're going to want to keep drilling on the side they're comfortable, right? It's natural. We want to drill on the side where we're comfortable all the time. But what happens when I get to the other side that I'm not comfortable on during that match? Because we're not going to protect what happens, right? We're going to try to be there all the time, but we still got to know what to do on the other side. So I force them to do it. We do a lot of that too when we're warming up. Like, all right, right leg. I'll switch it, we'll be like, only left leg now. Now do what you want. Then wrestle only feet to back. Over-unders, only feet to back, 5-point moves. What are you going to do if you're down, you need to pin? What are you going to do? 30 seconds left. You're down by 6 or 5 or whatever. Feet to back. Then pulling them in front headlocks, scoring on the front headlocks. We don't score enough in front headlocks as a whole. Our kids don't. They think of it as a relaxed position. Front headlock is not a relaxed position. Those are point positions, that's a hustle position. Especially when he's down. This is my score. This is where we score, right here. Front headlocks. You have to score in front headlocks. Alright? I probably have one of the best ones. Score in front headlocks. You rest when you get on top of the guy if you need to rest. But, wrestling, college kids do it too. My kids are doing it at IU. Kids doing it in our room, my room, right now. They're on them all the time. So they're in here, he starts kind of circling up, he's coming up, and they just push off. It's too easy for him. It's way too easy. Make him earn it if he's going to come back up. At least make him carry my weight for a while, tire him out. I'm going to try to score, though, in this position at all times. All right? And that's what I preach in my room. That's what I preach at IU with our kids. These are all scoring positions. They're a hustle position, this is. Okay? So, and then, say, roles reversed. I'm in a front headlock. What I have our kids do, too. So a lot of people want to pull out when they get caught in a front headlock, right? They think it saves them. Wrestling's about distance. We close the gap. We crowd him. We go into him. We don't want to pull out. If I'm in a front headlock in here, I don't want to start going this way, because now I'm on my heels, And if the guy has a good front headlock and he's gonna choke you out by pulling away from him, it pulls your body away. He's got your head, so it pulls your body away. Now he's got a real good control of your neck if he's locking his hands. And now I'm on my heels if he's gonna pick. I'm looking off from there. So I'll have the kids come in here, I'll start in, they'll shoot. I wanna get my head up across the body here. I wanna come up. And as he starts pushing, I wanna circle up into him. Always go into the guy. It's gonna be a dogfight anyways. But I don't wanna be down and I don't wanna pull out. I'm at least taking the fight to him now. I'm at least taking the fight to him. I'm gonna make him earn it if he's gonna score it. Just right there. So like when we miss a shot, I want my head, and bend a little bit more. I want my head to be right up in here, recovering this way. I want my head to come across the body. So my head goes from here to here, right up through. Now we have options. Now we're pushing here, going right up into him, flicking the pick or whatever. At least clear the position. It's going to be a lot easier to clear the position there than pulling out or sitting underneath the guy. Okay? We have to turn bad positions into our scoring positions. All right? Like I said, really the only time you probably really want to rest is when I'm away from him or if I'm on top of him, where I got a good hold. Bottom's not a rest position either. Front headlocks are not a rest position. Those are hustle positions. Okay? Is there any questions before I start going down on the mat? I just want to touch on some of those drills real quick because I think they're really important. That stuff helped me tremendously at the next level.
You said you teach your kids to attack the different legs.
Yes.
Do you do the same move, a single leg on the left side, single leg on the right side? Or
Yes.
do you change up?
What I do is I seriously straight up call right leg attacks only. And I just tell them, work on single legs, work on your high crotches, work on your low level on that side, anything to that side. But I want you doing it on both sides. That way, because you're going to fall into both sides, it don't matter. But you want to get them comfortable knowing how to finish on both sides a little bit. I mean, you're always going to have your strongest side. But you want them to do both sides. Just helps you. It helps you get to that next level, and the kids that you have going to the next level will help them. Yeah. Answer it, Ken?
Yeah.
You had your head in close on his shoulder, but you weren't ear to ear. How do you explain it to the guys of like what you're looking for, where your head goes?
On our collar tie? Yeah. Before we're in here, just tell them what you do. Instead of being ear to ear, all we do is just turn into them just a little bit. So my head's almost, more of a 30, 45 degree angle in there.
So just making it.
Yeah, and if you tell your kid and you grab them after you explain it, when they're just working on it themselves, if I actually grab you and I feel you from here and I go to here, you can feel the difference on my positioning alone. It takes his shots totally out of the game, just from the head position, just by turning it that much. I mean, we're going to be ear to ear at some point, but I always remind myself while I'm wrestling in here, I always want to be back in here. Because now he's got to shoot through my head for sure. Now I know he's not going to beat my head. Anywhere else, now it's who's the quicker game, and I'm not that quick. So, someone else had a question over here, I thought. No?
In that front headlock, are you grabbing the chin, or are you just kind of hanging your hand in there, or you staying short?
When I'm scoring?
Yep.
So during that drill, when we're head blocking, when I'm here, I always go back of the elbow here. You can keep it planted. And I start cupping just to look for a drag. I'm just starting to drag in here because he's already shooting at me. And so when he shoots at me, I'm not backing up. I'm already starting to circle my angles down. Right here. I'm just using this to pull him to me and keep my head in. Because we don't want to back up. We don't back up to set anything up. If I'm backing up, I'm getting caught on my heels. Especially if this guy's explosive. Or if he's got two good re-attacks, if they're that quick. If I'm circling, now I at least have a fighting chance with my head down. So I just comes automatic to me now from just doing it, been doing it for so long now. So when he shoots, I automatically start looking to drag. Right from there, or from the open. Getting a little slower these high school kids, though, so keep them away.
On your front headlock, are you looking to dribble ahead? Put your head in the hole, like what's your first option?
of scoring in a front, if I'm actually in a front headlock.
You have the front headlock.
Mine's a little bit different because I'm weird like that. My brother's is, head in the hole, sit the corner, head in the hole. Mine's different. I was never that good at it, which always made my dad mad, by the way. Always yelling at me. He's like, why can't you do it like your brother? I'm like, shit, I just can't. Leave me alone. I got a couple, I just like pulling in here. I like moving this guy. It's all about moving him. If we can get double overs right here, it's obviously a lot better. Now we can pull. I always sidestep and pull though. Never pull him into you.
Right.
Because he can reshoot. Even if I'm on the chin, it's always here. Now I'm looking to backhand. Go in here or drag. If I get him moving a few different times, it's about putting your holes together. My number one actually, because it puts me in my reverse headlock, is John Smith did it. I put my knee right behind his elbow. It blocks it, so he can't reach up. So my foot's kind of 45-degree angle. Now once I go to pivot around, even if he has my elbow, I pivot off this toe, and I'm going to pull my arm up here. Then I circle around. That's how I started learning to do it. Actually, that's when I got to Oregon State. Like I said, it's a dangerous one. I just taught my kids it for the first time last week, but it's dangerous. There's so much that can go wrong with it. I don't try to teach it to a lot of kids right away. Because if I go here and I don't bring my legs together, he's going to go inside in Peterson or Wayne roll right away. So you have to be careful who you're teaching it to because there's a lot that can go wrong. But once I hit the corner here, it doesn't matter because now I'm up here. No, I don't care if they grab my leg. It's just more of a comfortability factor for me. But it's a lot of pulling. It's a hustle position, and you have to have them hustle. You have to have them put 2, 3, 4 holds together. If that guy's any good, I'm not going to score on him on the first one. You have to keep moving and pulling, knee tapping, pull again, start looking for corners. Or head in the holes, always good. I just never did it, but pulling and bouncing off the mat, yeah. Teaches him not to shoot on me. Pull. If not, then I just shoulder him off. Anybody else? All right, we'll go down. So I was talking to Mike out there about it a little bit. Mindset on top. I know a lot of kids don't have it. A lot of college kids don't have it. People don't in general. It's just kind of how we were brought up, but I'm not going to let this guy go no matter what. Me personally, I'll take a stalling call to keep him down. Matches are won on the mat. And you can teach anyone to be good on their feet. You can teach them the whole position, the score, But if you can teach someone how to be really good on top, the whole complex of the match just changed. It just changed. Because that free point that we tell the kids to go down and get, that free point, that's not free anymore. Because he's not going to choose down on it. I probably had maybe a half a dozen kids choose bottom out of 5 years of college wrestling. It shortens the match. I'm at least riding him for 2 minutes and turning him, hopefully. And I get the takedown, there goes another 2 minutes, minute and a half or whatever. Now I'm on top for 3.5 minutes. Now the match is cut in half. Now, so the whole match has just changed for him. His idea of going out there on the mat is not the same as it normally is because he has to adjust to the way I wrestle instead of it just going out and being out there and being a normal match with somebody where it doesn't matter if he chooses down. But if it matters when they have to pick between choosing down or going neutral, now the whole game has changed for him wrestling against me. And that's why I try to have my kids. I try not to let them cut anybody in the room. And if you cut him, you cut him at your own terms. He stands up. I don't just cut him and push him away. I put him back down and then I cut him. I may return him, then I cut him. Let him know that it was my choice to let him go and not the other way around. It's all your mentality. As far as he knows, I'm letting him do it. Whether it's true or not. I might be tired and have to let go of him. But as long as he knows that it's my choice to let go of him, that's all that matters. And that's all that matters for the next guy, or when I wrestle him again. Okay? I will, get on top, you choose top. I probably chose top 98% of my matches throughout my whole career. Because I want to get on top, I want to score points, and I want to end the match. If we're out there for 6-7 minutes, anything bad can happen. Could get caught in something, don't matter. But if I go out there, get on top, hammer him, let's get the match over with. Now I'm off in 2 minutes, now nothing bad can happen. And if he's worried about what I'm doing on top, he sure as hell is not going to come off the bottom. He's not worried about how to get out or where he's doing correctly to get to his positions to get out. He's worried about surviving. That's what's going on now. And that's where you want him to be. You want him to worry about surviving. And how I was taught, that's how I taught my kids at IU. That's how I teach my kids in my club. What's the easiest way to make this guy go over? Period. Doesn't matter. Don't matter where we're at. What's the easiest way to make him do what you want him to do? You hurt him a little bit. You make him uncomfortable. Yeah, we got our rules, we stick in our guidelines, but it's not your job to protect him out there alive. That's the ref's job. I'm dead serious. That's how I was taught, and that's how I teach. It's not my job to protect him. I've stayed within the rules. I know the rules. We're fine. My reverse headlock that I always got so much stuff about. I got an arm and a head. Doesn't matter. It's legal. It's his job to go over. I really don't care if he goes over or not. It's his job if he wants to. He can toughen up or not. But I'm going to score. And that's how we have to think. And I think we get away from that a little bit. Don't matter what move it is or whatever. It's your job to hurt him. Put him in pain. Yeah. Not Twitter blogging me either. It's your job to make him uncomfortable, hurt him a little bit, put him in some pain, or he's not going to go over. If I'm out here just holding on to him, he ain't going to go over. He ain't going to do what I want him to do. But now if I start wrenching on him and hurting this guy a little bit, hell yeah, he's going to go over. It's easier to go that way than just sit there and get beat on. Okay? So
Was it weight challenge or you that said legal discomfort?
I don't know. Don't let weight take any credit of mine. But that's just that's how I think on top, especially on top. I think that way anyways, but especially when I'm on top. That's how I think. And for you guys that have been around us for a while, my family or me or my brother, you know that's how we operate. Okay. So before I start getting into some techniques right there, we all got any questions with this? This is kind of that mindset. Are we all right? Okay. So now we're just going to kind of go off some riding series that I do that are actually, they're tilts, just tilts and turns. You're probably not really going to get a lot of flow out of here, but you can ride easily without getting hit for stalling because we're always off to the side. And if this guy comes up, we're going to turn him. Everything that I do on top depends on his reaction. I don't care what he does, I still have a way to turn him. Okay? And that's where another thing, telling the kids, like, you don't have to wait for this guy. If you have a good hook, if you have something nice and tight, sometimes just force it. That guy will go over just because it gets tighter. He'll go over. Okay? So we'll start with my claw series that I do. Alright? So, slide back here. Okay. I start on the right side because I like to pull with my right hand. And that's how I tell my kids to kind of start when we're teaching it. Because I don't like jumping sides because it takes extra time for me to get in my position. Especially this guy's a firecracker off bottom. Okay? So I take my shoulder, I'm going to put it right underneath his armpit. So when I do this, when the whistle blows, I drop off to the side. Still kind of got my spiral ride going here with my hand inside. Right there. I'm going to take my shoulder, put it under his armpit. I call it shoulder half. We're going to do a claw series, whatever you guys want to call it. Alright. When I drop, see my laces are flat right here. My knees out front. That way I can get low. If I'm up here, now I'm higher. And we're gonna have guys that wanna grab it from back here, because it's comfortable, you're behind the guy, behind his arms, right? But here, I don't have, my arms are shortened. If I can get out to the side and drop my shoulder underneath, now I can grab. Don't grab your shoulder. I can't move him here, he's too strong. His back is stronger than my arm, right? So it's easier for me because I got long arms. So I teach it this way, and then I tell them after we learn the correct steps, I kind of do that with everything anyways, figure it out how it works for you. Because the same way I do it is not the same way anybody in here does it. Same way I shoot a single leg is probably not the same way as most all of us shoot it in here either. But it's all the same principles, all the same steps. Each kid is going to do it different. We just want them to know how to do it. Especially, in ours, I want them to know how I do it my way, and then we'll adjust it to how they wrestle. I don't want to change a kid the way he wrestles. That's why they're wrestling. That's why at IU, that was a big selling point. I will never change the way you wrestle. I'm going to show you how I wrestle and how I do it, and hopefully it works for you. And if not, we'll figure out a way, maybe it could work for you. But I don't want to change the way you wrestle. You're here for a reason. You're at this level for a reason. But this is how I do it, and let's see if it works for you. If not, maybe we can tweak it where it works for you. Or if not, hey, you might not do the damn thing at all. We'll move on to the next thing. But don't change kids the way they are. They said my spladle wouldn't work going into college. Told my dad that I needed to drop it. If you know how to do it and you do it right, you can do whatever you want at any level. But it's about making sure the kids know how to do it and then finding a way for them to do it, okay? So when I drop my shoulder underneath, I try to grab the other side of his neck. I want to try to tickle his ear over here on this side. Now when I pull my arm down to my knee, now this is tighter than if I'm here, isn't it? So when they're drilling and stuff, his neck should almost be red by the time we're done. Like giving you a little snake Indian burns right there. His neck will be red from me just pulling on it. So when I drop off here, drop my shoulder underneath, grab here, okay? And I pull this down, right there. Now what I do, instead of just coming here and shuffling, I turn hip to hip. Go from here, turn my hip to this hip. So a lot of kids, they want to shuffle when we're doing everything, right? Even when they have shoulder halves and stuff, they want to just shuffle. It's a lot harder to move this guy. I'm not using any weight. Where's all your power? It's in your hips. It's in your legs. So I can use my hips and my legs to drive into him. So once I grab this here, now I'm turned this way. Now I can drive off the sides of my feet right here. Start hunting for this wrist. Because he's probably going to reach up with his hand and start peeling it anyways, because it sucks. Now I can grab it. If he doesn't, keeps it posted, now we're running to it. And I'm